Okay, we have just finished our 14th acquisition. We have more coming up. And since I've got you here, we're both in the same place for a small period. I want to talk about how we make sure that as we close out these acquisitions, that both the people that work in the business we've acquired and the customers that we've brought on board through the acquisition essentially love A, working there, and B, are really excited about what we can do as their new supplier, as the new brand that they're being introduced to.
Yeah.
We always talk about when we bring on a new client through a new sale, we know that they love us. They're a 10 out of 10. That's why they picked us. And it's 6 months after a successful onboarding, our sign of success is they're still a 10 out of 10. The customers that we've essentially gained through buying their business, we don't know what they think of us yet, but we want them to be a 10 out of 10 in 6 months as well. So just wanted to paint a picture, get you to talk about how we make sure that happens. Which one do you want to start with, people or our clients?
I'll actually start with a little bit of both in saying that the question I often get is, why did you buy this business?
Okay.
And that both staff and a customer is going to ask, they're kind of interested in that same thing. Well, what made you interested in this MSP, right?
Yep.
And the answer is actually both. What we're buying is the customer base looked good for us, fit our ICP, our
ideal customer profile.
Ideal customer profile. And that is part of what we assess, is that are these customers the appropriate, at least the majority of them, the appropriate profile for us? And staff, do they seem like the right cultural fit for us? And so if that becomes your primary criteria, staff and customers and the fit of both of them, then the important thing to know is you're why we've bought this business.
Yeah.
And so I think that sets the tone.
Yeah, you're super important to us. You're why we're here.
You're the only reason that we bought this business, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, that's an important baseline to establish.
Fair. Okay, so we've established that. They know that we desperately want them to like us, and we definitely like them.
Yeah.
So in simple terms. Okay, how do we make sure that, let's focus on the employees next. How do we make sure that as they join the business, that their experience is great, that they have a smooth transition, they meet the right people at the right time, that they feel part of the team? What does that look like?
I think that we try to be pretty respectful of the fact that, they're finding out way later than the owner generally, right? The owner's known about this upcoming transition for months.
Yeah.
Most staff find out a couple of weeks before, or even a week before it actually happens.
Yeah.
And it can be a lot to take in. So, I think that being, as I said, respectful of that, their position, the fact that they didn't choose to work for us, they chose to work for someone else, is the right starting point. And also that we're not here to cut half of the staff. Like, that's not the reason for doing the acquisition.
Yep.
In fact, the reason is we want the staff.
Yeah.
So
Good people can be hard to find, right? They're if you can get them, you definitely want to keep them.
So we consider all that we want the staff to stay, we want them to be part of our business. From what we've been able to assess through the owner and through doing the due diligence, they will be a good fit for us. What we need to do is get them understanding what life at First Focus looks like, that it will be a little bit different to what they're used to, and that I hate that, nothing will change. That's not true. It's never true. No. Things will change, hopefully mostly for the better. There will be one or two things that working in a big business that are different to working in a very small business. But we want that experience to be great. We want this to be a great place to work for everyone that's working here. And we want you to be able to access all the advantages that come with that. The career opportunities, the advanced tools and automation, that kind of stuff that we have that obviously the technical staff are really keen on.
Yep.
The cultural stuff that we do, the kind of the non-work stuff, I guess.
Well, even today we're here, right, because we've got 25 account managers or 28 account managers, I think, from around not only Australia, but New Zealand, the Philippines, here all in one place to learn together. There's a lot of things you can do at scale that just aren't possible in smaller businesses. So a lot of our job is to educate, inform, get them excited.
Yeah. And, there are plenty of success stories now of people going on to have great careers within the business that have come.
Software development.
Yeah.
Some of our great consultants.
Yeah, they've joined through acquisition and then gone on to take more senior roles that they would never have had. And then there are others that felt that a large business wasn't for them in the long run, and that's okay too. I think you're naive to think that 100% of staff are always going to say 100% of time. That's the reality as well.
Okay, so let's talk about the customer experience. So a lot of customers for the first time are going to hear from the owner that the business has been sold.
Right.
Prior to that, much like most of the staff, that's a shot out of the blue.
No idea.
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're immediately, probably most people, change is scary. What does this mean for me? I'd love you to detail. So it's clear to the customers, what are we doing in the background to ensure they have a great experience through that integration process? And what should they be excited about because of this change? Like, what are they going to have access to that they didn't before?
I think that, like the staff who, the default thing is my job safe? Is this going to be, what's in it? What's going to happen to me? Or how does it impact me? I think it's not that different for the customer, which is, I hope nothing's going to change. I hope, I hope it's not going to be worse. I've heard all these stories before of someone that's got taken over. Everyone's heard or had a bad experience. And so that does become the default starting point. Very rarely is someone going to go, awesome, my MSP got taken over, right?
Yeah.
However, roll the clock forward, and what we actually tend to find out is, especially the larger customers in that environment, or in that MSP, but sometimes others as well, are actually, thank God, we were worried that we were outgrowing that MSP. There's all this extra stuff we want to do. There's security, SharePoint. We're looking at automating some stuff, and now I've got access to be able to do that. So, there is a heap of capability that comes along with having a much bigger backing.
Yeah.
And the pod structure that we have is really designed to try and, at some level, replicate at least a small business feel to a certain extent. We try and balance getting the best of why someone would have chosen a small MSP to start with, but also the backing of a much larger one. So, that the GM of that pod, the general manager of that pod, who kind of replaces the relationship they had with that owner potentially of the outgoing MSP, that's the balancing side to being a big business, I guess.
Yeah, that's the person who's responsible for the client experience ultimately, right?
Yeah.
And just in case anyone doesn't know what we mean by the pod service delivery model, it encompasses support, account management, general manager, engineering, and essentially that service delivery. What can we do proactively through data assessment to help your business?
Yeah, so smaller sort of subgroup of staff within our business with a portfolio of clients that can have a much closer relationship than, we don't want incoming customers to think they're now going to call up and talk to one of 150 people on the phone.
Yeah.
They are going to talk to a group of around 15 technical staff in a pod who the acquisition is going to either be a part of, or in some cases, it's the way we started a new pod, right? By doing an acquisition as well. And so that's, again, coming back to what does a customer expect? It's, am I still going to be dealing with the same people? And the answer is yes, absolutely. And over time, over the next few months, we'll be integrating that into one of our pods, most likely, where there'll be some extra people now that you will be dealing with on a daily basis to provide a bit more resiliency and scale there, but not crazy. So, not hundreds of people.
At its core, it's like everything you loved and the reasons you're with that business will remain. What we're going to do is add a whole bunch of other things that make it even better. And when we look to get new business, we really go, hey, the most common thing we hear is, I've outgrown my MSP.
Yeah.
But they love us. They're there when I need them. They will pick up the phone. And so in the same way that everything we've created, you point about the pod delivery model, but the systems and tools, it's all about going, right, keep what you love, get more. And so that I think, very, very similar message. Yeah. What I've found as well, this is especially true, I think, in Adelaide, where we've acquired a number of companies now, is events are a great way to get people engaged. Get them along, feel part of the team, faces to names, kind of drop the barriers. So my hope is that we get more and more people that have come to us through acquisitions to those events and sort of break down barriers that way as well.
Yeah. So the actual experience of that integration process, it's one of those challenging scenarios where we almost can't we've got so much we want to communicate during that time, and we through email and through the account manager and through various ways we try and communicate. So I always encourage acquired customers to make sure that they are getting those communications and reading those communications, because there's obviously everything from contract novation to bank account changes to new technology that we're rolling out to improve the end user experience, like F-Connect.
Definitely check your spam.
Yeah.
Definitely check that.
Yeah. So, there is a 6-month window really where we will be methodically cutting things over until, I said, our goal is 6 months from acquisition, that it's everyone's now a First Focus customer using the tools that we have and taking advantage of all of it.
And it's worth, I think, pointing out that we have a dedicated integrations team, right? This isn't our first rodeo, so to speak. It's definitely not even our second. We have a team that does this day in, day out, and their entire reason for being is to ensure that our acquired clients, again, they have a great experience. It's a seamless, as much as it can be, experience, and that on the other side of it, they're far, far better off. And I think David, who leads that team, has been with us pretty much longer than anyone.
Yeah, about 18 years. He knows everything that goes on and has gone on here. And he has a pretty big team under him now that both from a project management, from contract management, from technical management, all the different streams that have to go into the customer transition. The backups and the security, and there's a fair bit to cut over to make sure that our team's well equipped to support it ongoing, and that we don't want to have random bits of technology from other acquisitions, and it's really important to us to standardize some of that behind the scenes stuff so that we can deliver a high level of service. And so some of those bits that we say, hey, we need to roll out these tools and swap that one for that one, a lot of it comes from all the systems we've built and the IP we've built relies on certain tool sets. So that there is some of that change. We try to make it as seamless as possible. But that is one of the big parts of integration. Cool.
All right. Well, I'm certain by the time that we put this out on various platforms, that we will have done more acquisitions. So that being true, we'll try and make sure that we keep on providing updates via video as things evolve, if they do at all. But we'll leave it there. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks.